Well, in the meantime, Senator Orji Uzor Kalu has defended recent comments made by U.S. President Donald Trump on insecurity in Nigeria, insisting that the remarks reflect the country's grim reality. Speaking with journalists at the National Assembly in Abuja, the former Abia State governor and senator representing Abia North said Trump's statements on religiously motivated killings should not be dismissed, noting that both Christians and Muslims continue to fall victim to extremist attacks across the country.
Say the truth, Nigerians are being killed, whether they are Christians or Muslims. Are they not being killed? If they kill people in Plateau, they go to a church in Plateau, those they will kill are Christians. If they go to Benue, the majority of people they will kill in Benue are Christians. If they go to Zamfara, majority of people they kill in mosque there are Muslims. So these people are jihadists. These people just want to destroy Nigeria. So we should call a black name on them without any pity. They will be smoked out. But let me tell you, before President Trump says a word, mind you that the American intelligence community must have found out where these people are living. All these ones we are talking is rhetoric. And you can see Nigerian Air Force, possibly the information that have been given to them by the U.S. authorities and say they are there. And you see Nigerian Air Force in the last 3 days bombing the homes of these people. And that is what it should be. We should not pity anybody who is a terrorist. We should not. And we are working diplomatically to make sure that we put our house in order. It will be solved diplomatically because President, in fact, the report they are using to assess.
All right, Senator Kalu's remarks highlight the delicate balance Nigeria must strike between accepting international security assistance and maintaining sovereign dignity. While acknowledging Trump's controversial statements as factually accurate, he simultaneously holds America partly responsible for creating the crisis through destabilizing the Middle Eastern and Northern African regimes. His call for deeper U.S. cooperation recognizes that Nigeria's security apparatus needs external support despite the uncomfortable optics of a foreign leader publicly criticizing the nation's failure to protect its citizens. Meanwhile, the African Union Commission Chairperson Mahmoud Ali Yusuf on Wednesday rejected accusations of a Christian genocide in Nigeria, urging people to think twice before making such statements. Yusuf added that the first victims of Boko Haram are Muslims, not Christians. Let's take a look.
First victims of Boko Haram are Muslims, not Christians. The first victims. And I'm saying it with documented references. So the complexity in the northern part of Nigeria should not be taken, that easily. So what we are saying to those statements, with regard to those statements, is that the African continent is very complex. It's not that easy to describe those situations with very easy words that can be used in a not reasonable way. That's why the African Union continent, the African Union Commission are very clear about that. We made it clear in our statement and communique, and we would like really to stress again that there is no genocide in northern Nigeria.
All right, Dr. Abati, the AU chair here, maintaining that there is no genocide in northern Nigeria, but we just heard Senator Orji Uzor Kalu saying that those that are perpetrating this sort of crime are jihadists and they should be smoked out and we should actually give them the black name that they deserve. I'd like for you to tie in both comments and also with the fact that, there was that viral claim with Amechi saying that he went to the U.S. to report former President Jonathan to Obama. Your thoughts?
Well, I think that the clarification by former Minister Rotimi Amechi is useful to the extent that, only yesterday the president was talking about misinformation and how that can create a lot of misleading, thoughts and situation. But Mr. Rotimi Amechi himself, who is at the center of the story, has come out to say he did not go to any America to report President Jonathan to Obama. in any case, he doesn't have such powers to go and report the president of a sovereign country to the president of another country. And except anybody has any peculiar, facts to the contrary. As somebody who was in government at that time, I'm not aware that, one person can go and report President Jonathan to President Obama. What I recall is that, look, there were issues at that time between the Governors Forum. There was the Governors Forum at a time when Amechi was voted in as chairman, and there was this rival faction where Jonah Jang was voted in by 16 persons. So there was this dispute about whether 16 members are more powerful than 19 members within the Nigerian Governors Forum. So there was that tension, at that level between Governor Rotimi Amechi, as he then was, and the Villa. But I do not think that the thing degenerated to the ridiculous extent of going to report to a headmaster in the United States. Yeah. But of course, that led to disagreement between Governor Amechi and also the Villa, with some other issues, underlying issues in Rivers State. That's to the best of my knowledge. If anybody has any peculiar facts in that regard, the person should come forward. What I know is that Secretary of State John Kerry visited Nigeria also at that time.
Yes.
I think we received him in the Marina House. Yeah, on that occasion, I was the one holding the microphone to introduce the two leaders. And, the whole issue was ahead of the election. And the summary was, America is interested, America will support the process. I don't know anything beyond that. Now, number two was Senator Uzo Kalu.
Yes.
Now, let's note very carefully, we made the point that the statement by the U.S. president should be taken as a wake-up call for the Nigerian authorities. The Nigerian authorities themselves, the Nigerian government, has issued a statement saying, we are ready to cooperate with the United States to solve this problem. Now, Senator Uzo Kalu has not said anything out of that. I didn't hear him using the word genocide. But he reiterated the same point that the Nigerian government has also acknowledged, namely that there is the problem of insecurity, there is banditry, there is insurgency, there is terrorism in parts of the country. And he made the point that, look, Muslims are being killed, Christians are being killed. The responsibility of government is to ensure that everybody in this environment is safe.
Yes.
So before, the message gets lost in translation that Senator Uzo Kalu is supporting Trump. No, that's not what he's saying. He's saying that we should listen to what Trump is saying because, as we say, America knows whatever happens.
Right. He said before Trump would speak, he already knows everything.
Based on intelligence. If there is cooperation, they can share that intelligence with the Nigerian authorities. As for the AU Commission chair, what he's saying basically is that the situation in Nigeria is far more complex. It's not something that you can just fit into a stereotype, because oftentimes the Western media tends to mischaracterize situations in Africa, which was the point that Minister Yusuf Tuga, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, whom I quoted earlier, was making. After his interaction with Piers Morgan, he said, look, he has provided facts that people may not accept within the Western space, but that he will hope that his interview will be, reported verbatim, so that nothing gets misconstrued.
Lost in translation. All right. Correct.
Many perspectives, but some people would, depending on their persuasion, would lean in one direction or the other.
Said.
But our issue is that the Nigerian government still has a lot to do to protect everybody, whether Muslim or Christian or what are those people in...
Very well said. We have to protect us.
Animists.
All right. So, Dr. Bati, you've said that you didn't hear Orji Uzo Kalu using the word genocide. But we've heard from, other governors, state governors in Nigeria, using that term. Before I come to you, off of the back of the fact that the AU is maintaining that there is no Christian genocide in northern Nigeria. Well, in April, Plateau State Governor Caleb Mutfwang said that the violence in his state is not a clash between farmers and herders, but is a genocide instead. Let's take a look.
What happened on the plateau is not a clash between farmers and herders. Please hear me and hear me well. What has been happening is genocide, and I want the international community to note it. We think we know those behind it. We are coming after them. Already a number of arrests have been made, and we know that those arrested are only agents of the masterminds behind these attacks. And we know that there are powerful forces behind them. By the grace of God, we will not only expose them, we will break their ranks.
All right. As complex as Nigeria is, Rufai, we've heard from Plateau State Governor use that word genocide. We also heard from the former Benue State Governor. What's his name again? What was his name again? The former Benue State Governor,
Samuel Autumn,
actually used the word genocide to describe the killings in that area as well.
You see, the truth is blunt.
Yes.
There is Christian genocide in Nigeria. No matter how we try to change the narrative, is it that they're not killing of Muslims, they're killing of Muslims, but there is Christian genocide. I've read the definition. Once you have the intent to kill, cause bodily harm, wipe up a group of people, is genocide. You see, the reason why all of them are running from the word genocide, because they know the tag it gives an international implication. That's the same reason why Israel was running away from that tag of genocide in Gaza.
Yes.
Like they run away from me, they don't run away from it. There's Christian genocide in Nigeria. Fix it and let the truth reign.
Finish.
Stephanie.
Main point, that really is the main point. Christians are being killed in Nigeria. Nigerian government cannot run away from this. This is the actual fact, because we have heard from your constituents, pastors.
Yes,
We've taken stories
PFN,
from, Dachamo. We have seen proof. We have seen fact that Christians are being killed en masse. Huge numbers of Christians have died. Well, before we take our milestone story, let's highlight some more reactions to the public confrontation between FCT Minister Nyesom Wike and Naval Lieutenant A.M. Yerima in Abuja over an alleged illegal land allocation. The video of the heated exchange, which has since gone viral on social media, has generated millions of views online, with Nigerians creating memes, AI edits, and comedy skits, turning the confrontation into a social media phenomenon. Let's take a look at this.
Doctor was acquired legally.
Because I carry neglect. Will you stop that?
I'm an integrity officer.
Will you stop that?
Sir, you cannot shut me up.
Get that way. Shut that.
You cannot shut me up.
Who does that?
You cannot shut me up.
Will you shut that?
You cannot shut me. I'm an integrity.
Get that way. I was in school when you
I am acting on order, sir.
You haven't shut that.
Sir, you cannot shut
You are a
me
big
up.
fool.
Sir, I'm not a fool.
You are a fool.
I am not a fool.
Shut up, will you stop?
I am not a fool.
You are a big fool.
I am not a fool.
You are coming close to me.
I am not a fool.
Because I'm a road man. I'll just come out at it like idiot. You are telling me. You are a big fool. What the hell?
All right, everyone's cracking up here. Dr. Martin, that is AI generated. That's what we're talking about, AI before.
No, this is very fake. This is AI, you. Dr. Martin, over to you.
Over to you. You were here when we discussed this
The
story,
first
please.
point to be made is that, look, this is very embarrassing.
Yes.
Yeah.
In the midst of whatever embarrassing situation, you will see the creativity of Nigerians coming through.
Yes.
Hence all these kits that Nigerians have created. Some are even selling T-shirts. I'm not a fool.
Yeah.
Yes.
They turned
There's
it into
wicked
business.
fabric out there, Dr.
However, the point needs to be made. I think the minister's behavior is very embarrassing. The way he conducted himself should be seen as a matter of serious concern by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who appointed him. Street fighting is not part of the responsibility of anybody that has been appointed by the president. Because I've heard some people saying that he was acting on behalf of the president. No, I'm not aware that President Tinubu, when he appointed him, gave him the title of Omonile of FCT. Because it's only Omoniles that behave like this. As minister of the FCT, he took the matter into his own hands. He said his officials went to the site, and then they told him that they didn't allow them to chase them away. Then he left his office, carried his able-bodied officials, and went to the site to go and do work.
Omonile Abuja.
So the minister himself did not follow due process.
Yes.
And I've seen some people expressing the opinion that Officer Yerima was carrying out an unlawful order. With due respect, the Professor Hon, Sebastian Hon, quoting the Nigerian Air Force case and I think Onunzu versus State and all of that. Yes, Supreme Court has ruled that you don't carry out unlawful order when you are in uniform. You can say no. You should, in fact, say no. But in this particular case, we're told that the officer called his boss, called the chief of defense staff. So that in itself presupposes that he was acting in a lawful manner and not going on a frolic of his own. And in fact, that officer should be commended.
Yes.
Because he conducted himself with maturity. It was the minister in the video that I saw that was shouting, raising his hand, and this is being confirmed by some of the skits that have been produced. So I think that Minister Wike disgraced the assignment, the office of the president, to the extent that, the people arguing that he was acting on behalf of the president. We don't want Omonile as a minister of the Federal Capital Territory. Those who are familiar with the phrase Omonile, they know how Omonile is, how they behave. So this is a matter that should be investigated.
It is.
If it were another president in office, this is more than enough to ask the minister to go back to Port Harcourt.
But you in government. Is there a ministerial code? That's the question I've been asking.
There is a general code of conduct now in terms of how public
breach the ministerial code?
In terms of how public officials should behave.
Yeah.
Now look at Punch today. I think it's a front page story. Ex-generals, they say they are angry.
Yes.
Because the ex-generals are saying, look, this has to do with the institutional integrity of the Nigerian military. All of them, without exception, the ones quoted in that story, they are saying that, in fact, Wike should be disciplined.
Right.
That he was involved in an act of indiscipline.
All right.
By taking the laws into his own hands.
Right.
Nobody is above the law.
All right.
And we should not further, disrupt civilian military relations. What this has done is that if Wike insists on doing Omonile antics across the Federal Capital Territory, other people will be emboldened to challenge him. I hope one day he will not go to his site to take the laws into his hands and they will rough handle him.
All right.
It can happen. This is Nigeria. Anything can happen.
Like you have rightly said, the reactions, however, haven't been entirely lighthearted. Retired military leaders have condemned Wike's language during the exchange, describing it as a national embarrassment, while the Defense Ministry has now launched an investigation into the incident. While speaking during a press briefing to commence activities for the 2026 Armed Forces Remembrance Day at the National Defense College in Abuja on Wednesday, the Minister of Defense, Mohammed Badaru, said the armed forces will not abandon any personnel carrying out unlawful duties. And you're absolutely right, guys. I mean, the military has spoken. They are backing the naval officer at this point. Quick points before we wrap up.
Somebody just
yes.
said me, Dr.
Go ahead.
He said what you tell us is Ajagungbale.
Right.
What does that mean?
What does that mean?
It's those that
Fight to get the land.
Right.
Ajagungbale says so.
We're also even hearing that Wike has reportedly...
They are all the same.
We're also even hearing that Wike has reportedly ordered a total ban on the use of mobile phones by staff of the Abuja Geographic Information Systems and the Department of Land Administration following that confrontation with the naval officers sparking pushback among workers who have called the move absurd and anti-labor.
This is a serious issue. We can laugh about it, but I think that there's a point, and that's why it was, before I was asking around code of conduct and whether or not he's overreaching. Let's call a spade a spade. He's overreaching and he's acting like an emperor, and that's why people have tagged him that. And the reason why people cannot even see anything wrong with what the military officer did is that there's just a general dislike of the manner in which he has carried out his duties. Later on, I hear today at 12 12 noon, he has another press briefing.
Oh, wow.
Or shall we say call to his chambers or court
Yes.
to come and, so I think it's important for the president to step in at this point.
This is it.
No other minister acting them. I know styles are different, but he's overreaching, and I think that he treated that man with a lot of dishonor and disregard. And it was not just the man, it was the uniform he was wearing.
No need to call an officer a fool.
Ministry officials
we have to go.
should ignore Wike's directive.
All right,
because it's an unlawful directive.
All right, I'd love to thank you all. I wish we had more
somebody
time.
should not carry my phone.
Well, we'll carry Wike's story tomorrow. I'm sure there'll be a lot to discuss. Thank you all. I'd love to thank you all for your great analysis, as always, on What's Trending. Well, that's all I have for you guys. On What's Trending today, I'll see you all tomorrow.